Hi, good morning all. So basically our today's lesson is on laws of motion. You may be surprised that I am just making this type of video. Basically the first two unit of this chapter are for reading. Okay, there is nothing to explain on board or on paper, so that is why I am saying you. Okay, look at the first heading, that is contact or non-contact force. This is already done. Already you have read it in previous classes. Okay, so you will tell me what is the name of the contact force and what is the name of the non-contact force. Okay, before that, what is the effect of force on a body? Okay, you tell me. The first thing it is written here, it can change the state of rest or of motion of a body. Means when you are applying force on a body, it can change in its state of rest or motion. ওকে, মানে আমি একটা বডিকে ঠেলছি, ওর যে রেস্ট স্টেটে আছে আর মোশন স্টেটে আছে, ও সেটাকে চেঞ্জ করতে পারে, বাট ইট অলসো ক্যান নট, মানে চেঞ্জ নাও করতে পারে, বাট দেন অলসো ইট ইজ আ ফোর্স। মিনস হোয়েন ইউ আর জাস্ট পুশিং আ ওয়াল, ওকে, ইট উইল নট চেঞ্জ ইটস স্টেট, but instead of that it is a force. Okay, that's mean when it is change its force or try to change its force, then also that is also force. Okay, what is the next consequence? Next one, it can change the size or shape of the body. Of course, it can change the size or shape also. Just look at the page of the book. I am giving a force, it is changing its shape, right? It is changing its shape. Okay, so it can change its shape or size. Here are the few example. Okay, but actually these are not questions for exam, but you have to know what a force can do, and you have just done it in previous class. Means in class 8 you have already done this. Okay, so next, kind of forces. Here the definition of force is there. A force is that physical cause which changes or tends to change. I have just told you tends to change. So a force is that physical cause which changes or tends to change either the size or the shape or the state of rest or the motion of the body. Is it clear? মানে যেটা চেঞ্জ করতে চাই বা চেঞ্জ করার চেষ্টা করে, that is force. So what are the kind of force? The kind of force are here basically contact force and non-contact force. Okay, contact force means to apply this force we have to make direct contact with the body, and for non-contact force we do not need any direct contact. So contact force, the force which are applied on bodies by making physical contacts, are called the contact force. What are the example? The force of friction, normal reaction, force exerted on two bodies during collision, etc. All these are the contact force. Okay, detailed example you will read, I shall give you the PDF. Okay, so here our next topic, that is on non-contact force. Oh, before that, force exerted by a spring, that is also a contact force. Force exerted by a spring, that is also a contact force. Whatever, no mathematics is here, just give a detailed reading. Okay, next, non-contact force. What are the example of non-contact force? This is here basically gravitational force, electrostatic force, magnetic force. These are the three fundamental non-contact force: gravitational force, electrostatic force, and magnetic force. Read the example. Of course the examples are necessary for the exam. So gravitational force, what is gravitational force? It is known to you. Means gravitational force is a universal force. Okay, gravitational force is a universal force. Let's say if I am just making the video in my phone. If I just release the phone, what will happen? It will just fall down like this, what I have done. So this is due to gravity. Okay, this is due to gravity. Next, here some example are there. A ball placed on a table starts rolling down. This is gravitational force. Here no one is just pulling this phone. Okay, when the phone falls, no one just pulling the force by making direct contact. Rather the fall is pulled by the attraction of the earth. Okay, and this is the example of a gravitational force. Similarly, what are the electrostatic force? The force exerted by charges on another charge or another neutral object, that is known as electrostatic force. This also you have done in class 8. I have given you a positive and neutral object. What will happen? that is attraction, this type of force. Okay, that is electrostatic force. Just I am giving an example. Let's say here is a positive object and here is a negative object. They will attract to each other. They will attract to each other. And here is a positive object and here is a neutral object. So again they will attract to each other. Again here is a positive, here is another positive, so they will repulse each other. They will repulse each other. So all these forces are basically non-contact force. Basically why non-contact force? There is no direct contact here, but instead of that they are also applying force or exerting force. Okay, next example is the magnetic force. Magnetic force. To like magnetic poles repels, we know north pole and north pole of a magnet repels, and to unlike magnetic poles attract each other. Okay, so these are the magnetic poles, and here we do not need any direct contact. Again we know a magnet attracts a magnetic material, right, like iron, nickel, cobalt, etc. Okay, here also we do not need any magnetic contact, or sorry, we do not need any physical contact. Examples are here, you have to read all these. Okay, so you have to write this general character of non-contact force, as well as in the previous there are general character of contact force. You have to read all this. Okay, but this is very much important. What are the general character of non-contact force? Maybe a question maybe like this: write to difference between contact force and non-contact force. You have to write. You are now in class 9. You have to write by yourself. This is not in book. Okay, yes, this is not in book. Okay, so next go to the second unit of this chapter.